Josh is going to make fun of mine.
I should have wore it. If I would have known you were in a tank top, I would have wore a tank top too.
That's what I would have worn.
I just bought a purple tank top and I was feeling pretty good about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like a lavender sort of color.
I don't have a purple one.
I got them at Walmart. I mean, they got some eccentric colors. It's like $3, man.
Yeah, no, I got a couple of them. A few Star Wars ones. I got one with Chewbacca on it, and his hair's all blowing in the wind and shit.
I don't know who that
Makes
is.
me think. You don't know who Chewbacca is?
No.
Jesus Christ. He's the big, tall Wookiee, hairy
What's a
motherfucker.
Wookiee?
It's an alien species from a planet called Kashyyyk.
You're getting deeper down the rabbit hole of things that I don't know.
I know. I thought it was funny to go deeper. All right. With that said, this is Ohio Wrestlecast number 13, I think.
I don't even know
Maybe I should look
anymore.
it up real quick. This is Ohio Wrestlecast, whatever I'm about to say. I am Mark Thomas.
We'll edit it in later. I'm Jerrod Griffiths, Wilbur Whitlock.
Yep.
Happy to be back, man. We got some things to talk about. We're going to start with a lot of positive things, but then we're going to strap in for the long haul. We got big, tall beers here today.
We do. I've yet to crack mine open.
Yeah, well, you're gonna once we start talking about the current products.
Yeah, once you start ranting.
I got some Jim Cornette-esque things to say about it, man. But
I like it. That's what I want
But
to
I
hear.
think we'll start with some cool things, and maybe we'll address what we got here on the table. If we go back to episode, it's one of the earlier ones where we started talking about what got us into wrestling.
Yeah.
I mentioned that it was the Wrestling Bible. This thing is called the Complete Book of Wrestling. I looked it up and found it. Actually, I think it was maybe only $10 or $11, and it's in pristine condition. Nice. And this book had, on the cover it has Captain Lou Albano. It has Road Warrior Animal putting Jerry Lawler in a headlock. It has Hulk Hogan. It has Ric Flair grabbing at Michael Hayes, King Kong Bundy, and Baby Doll. And I'm not even sure who that is putting a sleeper hold on in that picture, but.
Yeah, that doesn't look familiar at all.
But this book just kind of it was basically a small encyclopedia for all things wrestling. And this thing came out while Jim Crockett Promotions was still big and the WWF was going. World Class was still going. The AWA was still going. So, I can open up to the middle of Ken Patera, which I remember being in the WWF as a babyface, but then they're showing his whole history. And it's stuff that, it's a Google search away now. But this was in 1988, 89, where you just got so many vibrant colors of these pictures.
Yeah, that is something that is very. The first thing I noticed about it when he showed it to me is just how all the photos look great.
Fantastic.
None of them are shitty, black and white, grainy photos. All of them are great photos.
I don't know about you, but I only remember Andre the Giant as a villain with the one strap and stuff like that.
That's a younger Andre.
It's a younger
too.
Andre, and I didn't know he had that portion of his career. Here he's choking Abdullah the Butcher. Two legends I never knew interacted with each other. Just
fuck, his head was all fucked up back then too. Jesus.
You got Young Man Sting is next here, and again.
Oh my god, that's Surfer's thing right there.
Exactly.
Those are Ohio Wrestlecast colors he's got on there. Right?
He sure does. You ain't kidding.
Holy shit! Show that to the camera. Dang, rockin' Ohio Wrestlecast.
You can look behind. We got the red and the yellow and the black. Look, Surfer Sting. Surfer Sting maybe might be our next mascot, whether he knows it or not.
Yeah,
but I was talking to Mark before the show started, and this book was great because you got to see all these. I watched WWF TV. That's really all we had. Cable was more local then. If you live down south, you got a lot more Jim Crockett.
Oh yeah, I'm a WWE. I was always more of a WWE.
So we've seen these big things, the big right up of Ric Flair with the title belts and everything like that, where it's okay, I knew he was a big star. I didn't see him on TV, but I knew he was a big star. So then when I did you would see some WCW and be like, oh, that's Ric Flair.
Yeah.
That's Sting. That's Michael Hayes. Dude. That these guys. I got to be somewhat familiar with them before I ever even seen them. Which and that was because of this book. And I remember having this for a decent. It got torn up throughout my childhood, but. Michael Hayes destroying Ted DiBiase, a bloody Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, he is.
I knew the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, villain, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was other wrestling. You know what I mean? So you see all this, and you're like, oh, it just opened your eyes to what was going on in wrestling and
black ropes. That black rope.
And really, this is what got me into being a big fan. So I just seen him beating up the $1 Million Man. Here, Michael Hayes is beating up Ric Flair. So I don't know who Michael Hayes is. But I know he's a big star.
And he's beating up Ric Flair.
Because he's beating up Ric Flair and he's beating up the $1 Million Man all bloody in a different picture.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go across that where you get to see these guys, establish who they were. So Really, really, really cool book, man. If,
it is, for sure.
Anybody's a wrestling fan, an old school wrestling fan, look up the Complete Book of Wrestling. Again, I got it in pristine condition for, I believe it was less than $15, including shipping. So not a bad purchase at all.
Hell yeah.
Leave that here with you to peruse later, my friend.
Definitely take a look through, for sure. Like I said, I had something. For me, it wasn't I didn't have this big book. I had the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, like,
the magazines.
big collection.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, they have the Woman of Wrestling one's got a lot of looks.
Sure.
But look,
young man, like, Mark Thomas growing up.
Then like the special edition, like big thick ones where they're like Wrestlers of the Year, or like you mentioned something like the
PWI 500.
There you go.
Where they had the 500 top ranked wrestlers, and that got you a little bit of exposure. Like if guys had their color pictures in there, Living Nightmare Jimmy Lee, who always on shows with you. I remember him being in there in like the 300s, where I'm like, and then when I seen him on a local show, I'm like, oh, like that guy's he's a star. Like he's in the top 500. Like that's not bad.
No.
So like it was good exposure for all sorts of wrestling. And then being younger, if you didn't have all those promotions on TV, you wouldn't really know unless you seen a big color picture with their name by it. And then again, maybe wrestling somebody who you did know. So
what an asshole. Jesus.
Welcome to the show, Walt. Did you?
Like he's not gonna give up. Just lay
He was not giving up.
All right. My bad, people.
Walt was not being featured enough today in our episode. He got himself in there one way or another.
5 minutes of fame. Fuck out of here. All right.
But yeah, the PWI was also a really good method of learning about other promotions that you might not have been familiar with. And
no.
Again, so when they did come on to your show, you would be like, oh, I know that guy. I remember when Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich came in the WWF, and I'm like, oh, like, I felt like he was a big star from this and from those magazines. And not a lot merged those worlds back then.
See, I got into ECW in the later days, and a lot of the ECW people I saw first in magazines.
Yeah, I remember them hyping up Tommy Dreamer and Raven. As a big feud.
Well, I knew Raven from WCW.
Okay, that's right. He was in WCW. Well, he was in ECW first, and then WCW. But yeah. And so when you guys see these guys with that little bit of exposure, made them seem like stars to you, and it's unique. It's not something now with the internet, all of that's kind of yesteryear stuff, but definitely a good way to get exposure and familiarize yourself with more product than what was just on your TV.
Well, they still do it today too. Like I'll be cashing my check and I'll look at the magazine. Like some
you still go to the magazine stand. I do too. I mean,
right by the bank in Giant Eagle, and
can't help myself. You always peruse the magazine rack when you go to Walmart or something like that.
And they still do the Wrestler of the Year. Like I saw, actually while I was waiting, I looked through this year's, and that's how I saw that Becky won Women's Wrestler of the Year. AJ won, I think men's.
Most likely.
I went through quite a few. Kenny Omega won something. Like there was quite a few motherfuckers that won some shit in there. Oh, my point is that they still do it today, and it's still just as. I got excited and picked it up. And looked through it, I was like, oh yeah, I'll look at it.
Didn't buy it, just like when we were kids.
No. It was a long line.
My mom wouldn't let me today either. But man, we got some things to talk about. We need to talk about the Autism Awareness show that we did a couple of weeks ago. Man, that was really, really cool. And now we'll describe a little bit of what we encountered when we got there. Our friend Joe Hirschberger, who puts on this show for his son, was not just for his son, but his son Dylan is autistic, and he puts on he's trying to do a show every year to raise some money for autism awareness. If anybody knows, my baby brother is also autistic, and there's just
my nephew's autistic.
There's so much that we still need to learn, but we have learned so much since my brother Brad now is, I believe, 22. When he was a baby, there's so much we've learned since then. And we need to continue to learn. I mean, if autism most likely affects somebody, most likely you have somebody in your family or somebody that you know has.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a really, really good cause. But poor Joe was just running around like a chicken with his head cut off when we got there, man. He was. Setting up chairs and tables, which is, typical things you have to do when running a show. But he was promised a PA system with microphones. Didn't deliver. Nope. They were locked up in a shed that he couldn't get into.
Man, and I wanted to help so bad. I was thinking of so many different... Because I have, most of the things you would need, except for, speakers or, a PA system.
Sure. We could have helped a little, but even then we would have had to drive 40 minutes back and forth to get there.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, who has a PA system? And then I was trying to think of, like, any kind of, like, jerry-rig way of doing it.
I asked around, like, anybody has a bar nearby that might have, like, DJ equipment that you could, just anything. My friend Jeff Traxler, who runs Mega Championship Wrestling up in Elyria, he's a promoter. He owns a PA system. He said, he's like, I took it out of my car yesterday because he said he didn't need it. Like, just one of those things. And anytime you run any sort of show, you need to start expecting the worst, because the worst can happen.
Yeah, just plan for the worst for sure.
And then unfortunately, we didn't get the turnout that he had expected. But there was a family from Wisconsin that came down. There was.
By the time we left, I think there's probably a good 75 people there, but maybe 100.
Well, I was thinking altogether, including some of us who were doing vendors and things like that. But I mean, I think we're probably close to 50, 60 paid or so that were attendees of the show.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
But still, and my intention was, which we didn't know exactly what we were going to do when we got there, but what I thought was that we'd have the Q&A session where with each star, and I would be able to have the microphone to have the fans ask the questions, but then also be able to maybe guide and steer those questions to get to give good stories. Well, there were no microphones, and then we running crunch for time. We decided to have the whole panel just come out there all together, and it turned out so much better than I really thought it was going to.
Well, not only that, because they were all able to have because One Man Gang and Demolition and Bob Roop even they had all worked with each other.
They'd all been in some of the territories together, and they could bounce off of each other
until he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." They could tell stories together.
I thought it was the coolest thing, especially One Man Gang and Demolition. Like, I don't know about you, but I felt like I was in the locker room with them in 1987, telling these stories, because they were, oh, you remember when we did this? And then they're like, no, tell me. And they would bounce off each other, and you could genuinely tell that they enjoyed doing it.
For sure.
They enjoyed being up there, sharing stories. They enjoyed answering the fans' questions.
They you could tell they still love wrestling, and they still want to talk to people about wrestling. So when people ask them questions, they're like, hell yeah, I'll tell you about that.
Not a single one of them felt like they were there because they had to be.
No, nobody felt like they were there for a job.
They were there for a job. They were there. It seemed like it was great that it was a job, that they could do this, where they could just got to sit in a chair and talk to fans and talk wrestling and share stories. And they really did seem like they genuinely
even that. Madman
Fulton and Toby, guys who have they weren't they didn't have their stories from the 80s or anything, but they have their own stories to share. And Fulton, he shared that great story about how he was down about being released from NXT, but he felt great about being part of Impact Wrestling now. Yep. I mean, it was I thought it was great. And then if we upload it to YouTube, please, for the real wrestling fans that really want to hear these stories, it's definitely worth a watch. And,
it is.
And it might intimidate you, the length and everything like that, but I'm telling you, it did not feel like they were talking for over an hour.
No,
not at all.
I don't know what the run time is on the actual video altogether that I sent you. I think it's either an hour and 4 minutes or an hour and 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little bit over an hour,
there, maybe.
And it didn't feel like it.
No. Like, even editing it, I was like, "Fuck, dude, this felt like so much longer filming it, purely because
you're holding the camera."
And I brought the tripod and was gonna set it up, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just do it like the good old days."
Right, yeah, man. But they just, I know, talking to Joe and trying to keep the time cues on, I said, like, "Hey, we got time for one more question." He's like, "Oh, maybe a couple more." And then that last question, they didn't really answer the question. They did eventually, but they talked for probably about a half hour. Yeah. Just doing Gang and Demolition, just really enjoying themselves. And so, well, that's the last question now, but just let them go, man. Let them. They want to talk. That's what the fans paid to see. These guys sharing their stories. So it was it was a great time, and can't encourage fans enough. If you see these coming up, especially when it's for a good cause, ticket price might throw you off a little bit to not actually see wrestling. But if you're a true fan and you want to hear these stories, you really couldn't beat it. Like, these guys were, and then they hung out afterwards. After we had left, they hung out to chat with fans one-on-one and sign autographs and everything like that too. So
I got a picture with Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The man of the hour.
He is the man of the hour. He's always at the MidOhio shows, usually calling Mr. D Mr. Dung and and bullying us around. I have to keep Mr. D away from him because I'm afraid that Dylan might beat him up and I lose my manager for the night.
You don't need that.
I don't need that. I'd stay focused. Don't mess with that kid. He'll take you down. But I hope Joe was able to make a little bit of money for the autism awareness and the Northeast Ohio autism group. So hopefully he's able to make a little bit of money for them, and hopefully doesn't deter him from doing more in the future. Because I personally had a blast, and I know from talking to the fans there, had a blast, and I picked up some really good hot sauce from Dirty Sheets.
Oh yeah, how'd that turn out?
It's fantastic. It is the hot. I've used a little bit of the rub, the dry rub, but then I've used the hot sauce on some tacos, and it was fantastic. So
okay.
Dirty Sheets, my dude and my lady, they're a couple. I think it was a married couple. Fantastic product. We love you, and I'll next time if you'd like get a hold of me, and we'll put a bottle front and center.
For sure, yeah.
Advertise some products on here.
No, I wanted to get some. Unfortunately, I was broke at the moment. Next year, I guess.
Next year, I'll share with you, pal. We're
right,
friends.
Cool,
We're friends
cool.
here.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll make some food at some point in the future.
I always make some food, man. So, well, before we get into talking about the current product, what else? Anything else wrestling wise on your mind? Anything that you're enjoying? Because it's gonna get nasty. We got tall beers here.
Yeah.
Anything that you're enjoying when WrestleMania aftermath? And we could talk because I'm gonna talk a little WrestleMania as I talk the current product. But
yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
there's a lot going on.
I haven't. When you came, I had not watched the most recent episode of SmackDown. I was watching it, and I'm a little quiet. No, I'm not. All right, and
I haven't watched it, but I don't want to.
I'm as caught up as that. You know what I mean? And you mentioned something earlier, but that was why do I keep watching?
Yeah. What is drawing you in to keep watching? Like right now, like currently.
Really, the only thing that keeps me watching is just wanting to be up to date. The fear of missing out, essentially.
But before we get into the deep dive on this, I just want to say, the reason why I don't is because I don't feel they give us a reason to. And when I say that, is I say on Raw, the main event for the pay-per-view coming up, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be a great match.
Yeah, that I am looking forward to.
But what's the selling point of that?
Just for me?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not the storyline. It's just wanting to see Seth Rollins and AJ Styles.
And I'm going to watch that at Money in the Bank. I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
Why? What are they giving me to want to watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw? That's the question. What are they giving me? Why do I care? What is the sell? The Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. The sell is this scrappy babyface, this scrappy underdog little guy who's going to slay the beast, and what can he do to get him? AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. The sell is this is going to be a great match. I agree with you. I'm going to watch Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Give me what reason do I have to watch your 3-hour show? There is none.
Expectations are really the only reason I'm watching.
I guess so. For me, there's no reason to watch because you're telling me the reason why we're going to have these two guys wrestle is because they're two good wrestlers and it's for the belt. Okay. Well, I pay my $10 a month. I'm going to watch it. Yeah, I'm going to watch it on Sunday or what? I don't even know when it is.
That's another good point. I've already paid for it. I might as well.
I'm going to watch it because I agree it's going to be a great match, but I got nothing else to sink my teeth into. And that's why I asked what brings you in to make you want to watch Monday Night Raw, because there's nothing that makes me want to watch that show right now.
Yeah. Well, the things I am interested in now, storyline wise, that are going on, I am interested in the AJ, and not really storyline wise, but I do want to see that. That is one of the things I do, because I'll turn on Raw and I'm not paying attention to it. Probably.
That's not a good thing. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
And but I am paying attention to is the AJ Seth thing, Kofi and now Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
But whatever happens with Kofi, obviously. Yeah. And Lacey and Charlotte and Becky.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go back to WrestleMania, and when we watch WrestleMania here, I had mentioned that I didn't think Kofi was going to win, and my main reason thinking was, and my also thing was, is I wanted Kofi to win at Fastlane. I wanted it to be his Eddie Guerrero versus Brock. You
brought that up before. You thought at WrestleMania his moment would be outshined by every other moment.
It would either be outshined, which I would say that it wasn't, because honestly, that's the most memorable thing to me. But so in that case, it outshined Seth Rollins, and it might have even outshined Becky Lynch, because Becky was just the champion a couple months prior. It wasn't like this real long fight.
Was she?
Yeah, she lost that TLC in December with Asuka and Charlotte.
I don't remember that.
So she was the women's champion. She had beaten Charlotte throughout the summer over on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Lost it in the TLC because Rousey pushed the ladder over.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was only not the champion for a couple of months. So her climb wasn't nearly what Kofi's was. So I thought Kofi's was the biggest moment at WrestleMania. But therein lies the problem. At WrestleMania, you had the good guys won. Seth slayed the beast, yay!
Yeah,
Kofi got his moment, yay! And Becky got hers in a very, very like just underwhelming way, to be honest.
Yeah,
her tapping out Rousey would have been a lot better, but Becky got her moment, yay! All right, so now
I was happy about it.
Okay, sure, happy for the show. Well, now the three good guys conquered. So what the fuck are we watching the next day?
No, you're right.
Because that's the thing. It's wrestling is told with that story where you want your heroes to overcome. Well, they all overcame and they did it. Well, now what? And you did it with everybody. That's the thing. If Kofi would have lost, got screwed, at least I would have that. I'd be like, fuck, I want him to get his justice still.
But at the same time, how surprised were you? You know, that it all played out that way.
Not very.
Really?
No, because it was kind of the way they were bringing it up, you know.
I didn't expect it. I thought for sure when
those three, I didn't think it'd be 3 for 3.
I thought for sure Charlotte was going to win it over Rousey, or maybe Rousey would retain and lose the following Monday. Yeah. I did not think Becky was going to win. The more the baby faces won, the less I thought the next baby faces were going to win.
So they almost made it so obvious that it wasn't obvious, and then when it was obvious, it was a
surprise. Fake out of a fake out.
Yeah. But that was the problem for me, though, is that you wanted to see somebody take down the bully Lesnar, and we got it. You wanted to see somebody take down the bully Rousey, and we got it. You wanted to see Kofi get his moment, and we got it. Great. Well, what do we have next? Now we got 3 happy endings. When the movie's over, it's a happy ending, and it's over. You don't really want to see the prince and the princess making eggs and bacon in the morning, living happily ever after. You don't give a shit. They already won. The love prevailed. The good guys already won. It's great. The movie's over. Now I need a new movie, and they don't fucking. I don't know what it is.
No, you're right. I know. I see what you're saying. I do like a little bit of, bacon and shit afterwards. A little bit of happiness. I don't want 3 of them like Lord of the Rings or something.
Right.
But I see what you're saying.
That's what it is. Is that Becky Lynch, as over she was, is because we wanted her to get her moment. She got it again, kind of an underwhelming way. I went back and watched that match again because I think we're so burnt out from all the wrestling that I didn't appreciate it. So I went back and watched the match. The match was good. They worked hard. But the finish was underwhelming.
The finish was a botch, essentially, was it not?
I heard it wasn't. I heard that's what they wanted to do, which is shitty.
I don't know.
You shouldn't win with a fluke roll-up in the main event of WrestleMania, the first women's headlining match ever.
If it was a work, they botched the work, I think, because it wasn't well executed.
No, it wasn't well executed.
That's what made me think that it was a botch.
And anybody in wrestling will tell you that you can have if you have a great opening, a great middle, and you have a shitty finish, your match kind of sucked. And that's not fair because the girls did work hard. And I don't think the match did suck, but the finish sucked.
I like the match. The finish was abrupt and underwhelming for sure.
And the finish was not only the finish of their match, but the finish of WrestleMania. So now it's not Eddie and Benoit hugging in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
It's not, the Undertaker holding it. It's not.
Again, though, this all just makes me think it more that it was a legitimate botch.
It might have been.
Because do you think that they would have planned that finish?
I don't know. From hearing from the sheets or what have you, insiders saying that it was, but I guess I don't know. I don't know. How do you botch getting pinned? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. Either way, it kind of left an ugly taste in your mouth, and then now let's pick it back up. What do we got next? A whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, the surprise returns weren't all that surprise. What was it, like Sami Zayn?
Sami came back. I don't
Kevin
remember.
Owens?
Kevin Owens was back already. He was back for Fastlane. Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember.
And we had the Superstar Shakeup, which is another thing that I'm just...
The superstar shakeup in itself
and
is
another
a
goddamn thing. I'm getting a Jim Cornette rant right now because it's just... You do the shakeup. You want to try to keep these brands separate. You want to have fresh matchups. And then because they're desperate for ratings, they're doing this wild card gimmick that I just read about. And this is just... Roman Reigns going to SmackDown was supposed to be the biggest thing, and then he's on Raw the next fucking week.
Well, everybody is. That's
If you can't take your own shit seriously, how can I take it? How do you expect me to take it?
It's a huge clusterfuck right now for sure. And I think we're headed towards one brand again.
If you don't have enough confidence in your roster, which is crazy because there's so much talent.
They have everything they need to be successful. They just don't
every card in the deck and you don't know how to play
exactly.
it. That's what's happening right now.
They have a stacked deck and they have no fucking idea what to do with it.
You're right. If you don't have enough confidence in your talent to split them up on all these shows, then don't split them up. They do, and they should. They just need to be fresh. But at the same time, and I go back to this AJ Styles thing. Okay, so what was it that he had to win a singles match, and so did Corbin and McIntyre, and then they had a 3-way, and AJ won to be number one contender.
So. That sounds right.
So it was a tournament of sorts.
Yeah.
To be the number one contender, so he earned that shit, right? Earned that shit because he wants to be the Raw champion. He's never been the Raw champion. He's only the SmackDown champion. I want to show him the best on Raw. Until yesterday, when you just get to walk over to SmackDown and get a fucking title shot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're not going to take your own shit seriously, why should I?
Yeah, that's all I saw from SmackDown.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
So you fight, and you set up your match with Seth Rollins, who's the champ, who just slayed the beast, and AJ couldn't do it. Okay, I think the story sucks, but that's it. At least you got it. And I want to be the champ over here. I want to show that I'm the best over here. Well, unless I could just walk over to this show and win the title too. I just go over there and do that.
So did he win?
No, he did not win. But
see, that would make more sense to me if they put the title on. Like, for instance, if they gave AJ the title and then it was AJ versus Seth Rollins, champ versus champ for both titles, then that person was the unified champion. Seth 2 belts. You know what I mean? Or AJ 2 belts.
Do you know what? They've cheapened that because they've done that so many times already.
But I think that would then lead to just one title again.
Which might be the best idea.
I think they have too much going on.
Because when was AJ or Daniel Bryan ever in the main event of any of their pay-per-views?
Yeah.
As the WWE champion.
Just make use all that talent in one great storyline instead of... Or maybe a few different great storylines instead of a few different great storylines on here and a few different great storylines. Well,
and by all means, I'm not saying they don't have a difficult job. They got to come up with 3 hours of Raw every week, 2 hours of SmackDown every week, and then there's the NXT brand, and it's not necessarily an easy job to keep doing this. And
even motherfuckers from NXT are on Raw and SmackDown sometimes, and then going back.
And nothing feels special anymore. We talked about that when on the last one that we sat here and did when they had Gargano, Ciampa, and Ricochet and Alistair Black all come up at the same time. And I told you how much I hated it.
Yeah.
And I still do because Alistair Black should be a star.
He should. Dude, I love that. I love him. His promos are great lately, too, that he's been doing.
He should be a star. He should have been brought up the way that they've always done it with a whole bunch of video packages and some squash matches.
Yep.
And then one good feud. Alistair Black's been up. They teamed him with Ricochet. The matches that they had were good. There's nothing wrong with the work, but
it led to nothing.
Led to nothing. What has Alistair Black done?
They didn't win the titles.
Who did he feud with? Who is his beef with?
Yeah.
Why am I tuning in to see Alistair Black?
They kind of beefed with some tag teams.
The Revival
slightly,
a little bit, but why this guy who is a just phenomenal talent? He's awesome in the ring. He's got good promos. He has an incredible look. I mean, he's the theme music and the entrance. It's all fucking there. You have a star.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I want to watch him because you're not giving me a reason.
No, you're right.
I mean, you're not there. All you have to do is give me Alistair Black versus Randy Orton, these two fucking brooding stars, and Randy Orton being the old grumpy guy. And I'm fucking pissed. Fuck you guys, you NXT fuckers. I'm still the fucking man. You think you're dark and brooding? No, I'm an evil sick fuck.
Yeah.
Alistair Black saying you don't know shit. And give me a real fucking story to sink my teeth into in a match that I can't call. I want to see it.
Yeah.
And I want to see the build up, and I want to watch SmackDown every week to see it now.
Yeah.
But you're not giving me that. You're just throwing this guy on my fucking TV show saying he's from NXT and he's good. That's all it is.
Right,
and
You're
to Ricochet,
right.
look at this little guy. He can fly. He fucking can, and he's incredible, and he's a good-looking kid, and he can be a fucking star for you. But you're just throwing him out there in the middle of everybody else. He can flip, though.
Yep.
Fuck, man. Give me something. Give me a feud. Give me same thing. Give me another good established high flyer that's been there that gives you the fuck you treatment, or do the whole bully storyline.
Yeah.
Give me a big guy. Give Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet.
That'd be sweet.
Give me that right now. And you get out of here, little guy. This is where I belong. Your shit ain't gonna fly here. Give me that. And now I'm watching. Give me Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet. Give me Alistair Black versus Randy Orton. I just booked a better fucking card sitting here drinking a giant beer.
Right there. Listen to him. Listen to the man.
God damn it. It's just, again, when you have this stacked deck. We didn't talk about this beforehand. We didn't write out who would be great. We didn't think about it.
Oh, no.
I'm just thinking about it off the top of my head right now and gave you 2 good matches that there's just not even close to doing. Everybody out there's treading fucking water and hanging out with Baron Corbin looking like the fucking kid from Bully.
Don't get me started with Baron Corbin.
I don't understand. I don't understand how you can have all of this talent and have a show that's so shitty. I don't get it. I've never been so disillusioned with the WWE wrestling than I am right now.
And I've maintained that SmackDown's been a better product this whole time.
It has, but now they're merging.
But
it's. Or you can watch Shane McMahon feud with The Miz for the next 3 years. Fuck's sake, it's Potato Face Dad.
Actually, that's kind of moving on. Well, they are including The Miz in it, but he's kind of going after Roman now. That's becoming that's escalating. Yeah,
I don't know.
Because Roman punched Vince in the face.
Yeah.
And Shane hasn't been happy, so he's attacked Roman a couple times, and then The Miz.
I've heard The Miz attacked him just on this week too. I read what happened yesterday, so sorry to spoil that for you. If you were excited for more Miz and Shane, I ruined it for you today, and I apologize.
No,
I don't know. It's just nothing feels special anymore. You're going to move these guys around brands. You got the Revival, who is the best pure tag team they've had in, at least 10 years, and I don't know who the last one was before them. You're not doing anything with them. Instead of just going out there and having a great 15-minute tag team match, telling a good story in the ring. Heaven forbid you do that.
Well, what makes NXT so much better? Why is NXT so much better?
I actually had this discussion. Number one, it's an hour long. It's just 1 hour.
That's true.
It's 1 hour, so you can give me the main storyline, you can give me a sub storyline, you can give me 3 or 4, you can give me 3. You can give me one good match, a good 10-minute opener. You give me 2, maybe 5-minute matches to establish some talent and a good main event.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You can sprinkle in a couple of interviews on why things matter because everything's tight there. That's why.
Man. It's like if Game of Thrones, if every season was 15 or 20 episodes, it wouldn't be as fucking good. It wouldn't be
as good. It wouldn't be as epic. Because there'd be more filler, and that's what so much of this is.
A 3-hour movie cut down to 2.5 hours is usually a way fucking better movie.
Exactly.
There's less filler.
There's less filler because to tell this, you don't need a ton of time to tell the story that's in the ring. That's for your TV show. That's for your movie. That's for your book. Yep. You don't need 1,000 pages to tell a good story. You don't. You can cut out a lot of it. You want to paint the picture in the ring. You can paint the picture of what you're doing by the way that by telling a story with your eyes, with your facial and your verbal expressions. You can do that sort of thing. You don't have to do a half an hour to have a great match. You can have a great match in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can have a great 1 hour show. You can have a great 2 hour show. You don't need 3 hours because what in the fuck are they doing in these 3 hours? They're just bringing over guys from the other show because they don't know what they're doing.
Showing the same Bray fucking Wyatt segment that they showed the night before. The same exact one. That's like 5 to 10 minutes long. With
all this production, with all these writers, with everything that they have, that they couldn't come up with a whole bunch of content to keep, which by the way, the Bray Wyatt thing has me intrigued really more than anything else does. I was just about to ask
you, what do you think? I honestly don't hate it.
At least I want to see what happens next.
To me,
which is more than I can say about anything else on there.
I
feel like Tony Schiavone over here. Like my chair is so much lower than yours.
Hit it up, dude. It's because Jeff's so tall.
I am not tall. Have you ever
Jeff
listened to?
lowers it all the time. I didn't even realize how fucking.
I was so short. If
you ever listen, lowered myself.
If you ever listen to the Tony Schiavone podcast, and then if you go back and watch it on Nitros, he always has his chair higher than Bobby Heenan's and like Mike Tenay's, and he'll even call it like, "Oh, my chair's higher than theirs." Yeah, my chair was low.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a little guy with my angry wrestling rants down here in my little chair.
You did look like a tiny little midget guy or something.
Well, I might have lost your train of thought there, pal. I'm sorry.
A little bit. Yeah, I don't even remember what I was talking about.
I don't remember what I was either, except for I was angry. We're talking about Bray Wyatt. We were talking about
Bray Wyatt. Okay. Yeah. He's just convincing enough to think like, oh, okay. He's just convincing enough to know that there's something behind all this. Like there's something waiting to come out, and I'm intrigued. He's doing a good enough job to have me just enough intrigue for me to be like, where's this going?
You want to know what happens next?
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Like, he's doing a good job with whatever this is that he's trying to build.
Yeah, that's all I need. All you ever need is that just what is going to happen next. Where's this going to go? AJ Styles and Seth Rollins are going to have a good match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like
I know where it's going to go. I don't need
their matches sell themselves.
I don't. Really. Yeah, I don't need more than that.
I agree.
And that's on them. I mean, that's just on bad. That's lazy. It really is.
No, I agree.
I mean, it really, really is. It's lazy. That's saying we're gonna have steak for dinner. You know steak is gonna be fucking good because it's steak. Yeah. But if you just don't give a shit and you don't make any sides and you don't season it, you're just being lazy, man. Like it's like okay, like yeah, here's your fucking steak. That's what it is. It's AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. Yeah. At that point, you're not even caring about what you're presenting. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird analogy, but like that's how I feel right now. You look over on SmackDown with Kofi Kingston, he gets this big moment, and then you get the heel turn from Kevin Owens that nobody cared about because it wasn't ever established as a babyface. Just rushed it.
Yeah, it was. They should have had that going for a while.
Just rushed it. So you got the heel turn.
Not only that, but I was actually really enjoying Kevin Owens in those moments.
Then it did work for you a little bit because if you enjoy the babyface, it should. You more than
I just thought it was funny and entertaining. It was nice to see Kevin Owens be silly and funny again instead of just a dickhead.
Yeah, and they never really got to establish it.
Yeah, like if they could have done it at least 2 or 3 more Raws or SmackDowns. You know what I mean?
Which apparently they didn't have confidence enough to again go with a Randy Orton. I know Daniel Bryan was hurt, which might be why they didn't use him. Or they brought Elias over.
I love Elias.
Use him for this filler. You're bringing him over from SmackDown. Treat him like a big star, and then have Kofi beat him to establish his title reign. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's your third match. Did you listen to me? God damn it. You bring Elias over. You treat him like a big fucking star. You have him look strong because if for whatever reason you weren't watching Raw and you are watching SmackDown, if you treat it like they're 2 different brands, so now you've only been a SmackDown guy, you're not that familiar with Elias, well, treat him like a big fucking star. Have him look good, and then have Kofi beat him, and now all of a sudden Kofi's legitimizing his championship, and you brought a guy over, and you made another fucking star. It's not hard.
Heard it here.
It's not hard.
It's not hard. Hit the man up. Give this man a job, WWE.
So now I gave you Kofi versus Elias. I give you Randy Orton versus Alistair Black. I give you Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre. You got your Money in the Bank matches. The latter, it's a gimmick.
Give him a cherry on top, dude.
The match sells.
Seal the deal for him.
All right. So what they want to do, they want to go with Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, and it's hard to find fault in that match itself.
I'd agree.
But I'd say you need one of them to be a fucking heel. And I wouldn't necessarily do it with Seth Rollins because he's flipped back and forth too much. I would have AJ Styles come over, gets a big monster pop. He overcomes the bad guys. Yeah, he gets the match with Seth Rollins. They shake hands and he kicks him in the dick.
I like it.
And go fuck yourself. And I would maybe even say that because he was like the SmackDown guy. He was the face that runs the place.
Yep.
He would say that he didn't even want to be here. He's pissed about it. I'm going to beat every fucker you have over here because y'all ain't that good. And I'm going to show you I'm the best, and it's really not going to be a big thing.
There it is. There you have it. The cherry on top.
God damn it. It's not hard.
He's just giving it to you.
It's not hard. It's just not hard. Then you got 2 ladder matches. You get a women's ladder match. You get the men's ladder match. You can make a new star in those ladder matches.
Now you're
Treat
working
your
for
talent
free.
like the stars that they are. What the fuck is Samoa Joe doing?
Yelling at Rey Mysterio's.
Oh, okay. I kind of like that.
Yeah, Joe's great. Joe's great at being Joe.
No, all right. Well, let's before we just get off it, let's talk about the women. Now, you are enjoying Becky and Lacey.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing every week. But
I think Lacey should have stayed in NXT.
I love seeing Lacey's ass, and I always like seeing Becky. I love Lacey.
I think
I
Lacey,
like them both.
I think Lacey has so much potential. I don't think she's ready for where she is now. I think she should have stayed in NXT.
No, they gave her a huge push right off the rip.
I think, and because she wasn't even that pushed in NXT.
No. She didn't even hold the title in NXT.
I think they should have had Baszler come up.
That's
to be the badass, and then let Lacey have a run in NXT.
I don't know why they didn't do the 4 horsewomen of NXT versus the 4 horsewomen of UFC or whatever, or of MMA.
Because I think Ronda's kind of taking a break, and probably the other two aren't ready. But Baszler is, and Baszler should have left the way Asuka did, on top. Because now it's like, if you watch NXT, who's going to beat her? Is it going to be Io Shirai? And it's like, yeah. And I don't want to sound like a bigot of any sort, but you had the plucky Japanese chick already beat her. Yeah. And now you're kind of just recycling the storyline. I'm giving you more assholes if you're listening. So you bring Shayna Baszler on top. Becky wins. She slayed fucking Rousey, Baszler's best friend. Baszler comes up NXT. You're not the man. I'm the fucking man. Nobody beat me where I came from. I'm coming up here and I'm going to beat you. You won both belts. I'll take them because nobody can beat me for mine. Now you keep Lacey Evans down at NXT to get a little more seasoning. Let her have an actual run down there.
Yeah.
Let her have the big matches, because she hasn't proven in the big matches yet.
No.
She never had them down there. So you let her be the top dog down at NXT for a little bit. She gets a little more seasoning, and you got a ready fucking made Baszler feud because her best friend just got sent packing.
Yeah. And
I'm giving it to you.
Very loudly.
God damn.
I'm going to have to adjust that one for you guys. Sorry if it ends up loud. But
Easy.
You're right. You're right. And when Rousey comes back, that's when they should do the 4 horsewomen.
I never even thought of that until just now.
Yeah? Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
Literally out of my ass.
Kinda. A little bit of that seems like you've been thinking about this for a while.
No, I thought about Lacey. I thought about Lacey Evans being up there because I don't think she's ready.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about the Baszler thing and what they could have done differently until just now. And I mean,
all right.
That makes so much sense.
No, it does. I liked every bit of it.
If they knew that Becky was beating Rousey and they knew that Rousey was going away, why was Baszler not next? That's just, it's there. It's handed to him.
It seems like they had a formula there for a while, and then they just stopped doing that. They just stopped doing it.
And well, the other formula was always the big surprises after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That would have been one. Not Becky and Charlotte again, which, by the way, great matches. They've always had great matches. They've been wrestling since SummerSlam, dude.
Yeah.
They've wrestled each other every month on pay-per-view since SummerSlam. We don't need it anymore. We don't. You could have brought up Baszler. That would have been a big surprise. And she's ready. What else is she going to do in NXT? She's beating everybody.
You're right, man. You're right. Maybe they don't believe in Baszler. Maybe they don't think Baszler has main roster
I don't know. Well,
appeal.
I don't believe in them right now because I'm not fucking watching. So I mean, that's where we are. And I'm 30. I'm going to be 35 years old this year, and I've watched wrestling routinely for as long as I can remember. I never missed it, and now I don't want to watch it anymore.
Shit, dude, that says a lot.
Yeah,
that says a lot about the current state of wrestling. Well, maybe AEW will get you.
Maybe AEW will get me perked up. Did look at the card coming up. It's a pretty goddamn good card.
For Double or Nothing?
Double or Nothing, yeah. That's a pretty cool weekend. As a matter of fact, Josh and I were talking. I think it's a $60 price point.
Really?
For
tickets?
For the whole weekend. You get because they have the StarCast.
That's not bad.
Where you get and you can view all of the podcasts that they do, and I think it starts like Thursday night and runs until Sunday. And it's $60, and it's all on demand. So once you buy it, you can watch anytime you want. My question is, not to put you on the spot, but you might be a guy who'd be interested, and maybe somebody else would, because I think me and Josh are. If we all pitched in, I'm guessing that the Fight TV account would be like, if I had an Amazon account and I bought a movie, and then you logged in with my shit, you could watch that movie.
Okay.
So I'm guessing the Fight would probably be like that. Whereas if we all split it, you could probably log into the Fight account and watch all that content. And then we might all get together to watch Double or Nothing because it should be a good show.
And I could record it because I'm the man.
Yeah, you're the man. You're the man at recording and technology, and I'm the goddamn man in the indie wrestling world right now. We'll get to that when because that's how I'm feeling right now. I got a show to sell here at the end.
You do.
But right now we can sell AEW, man. Did you take a look at the card that they got for Double or Nothing?
Honestly, I don't know much. I just know about like some signings. Like I know they signed Goldust. Everybody knows they've got Jericho and Neville and shit like that. And
There's some good matches lined up. You got the Jericho Omega rematch. Did you watch their first match from New Japan a couple years ago?
I did. It was great.
Great match. So you got that rematch.
And I saw All In. I saw all of All In.
I never watched All In.
Still haven't watched it yet. It was really good.
Still haven't watched it yet.
You should watch it if you're gonna watch Double or Nothing.
Well, there we go. Maybe we'll do that for a part of our next show.
Yeah.
Jared needs to watch All In. Needs to get caught up. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros, which I've only seen a little bit of Phoenix and Pentagon, but they're very, very, very good.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen
be a high action match.
Pentagon was versus Kenny Omega at All In,
which I heard was a great match.
It was good. Yeah. The whole Jericho thing happened.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I know that. That's going to be a high action match. And now the thing, at first I was completely meh on Cody versus Dustin. I seen it, the Cody Rhodes versus Dustin match. I was kind of, they already did that. But
so I'm assuming he's not going to be Goldust, obviously.
No, he's going to be Dustin Rhodes, but I've seen he had like a different sort of face paint, like he wants to evolve the character.
Okay.
So and I'm going to go ahead and call my own bullshit on that. Because Cody versus Dustin in the WWE was not very good, but that was them doing the story that they.
I never saw that.
You blink and you missed it, and you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
But that was the WWE's vision and their story of it. Cody and honestly, this might be controversial. I don't think Cody was misused in WWE. If he's on that roster right now, he'd be right back in the mid card, in my opinion.
Really?
As a wrestler and as a talent. Now, as a visionary. And as creative, I have a lot of high hopes for him because I'm thinking his match with his brother, they might be able to tell a story that we probably haven't seen before.
Yeah, they'll have the family angle.
They probably won't do it in a traditional sense because this promotion is not a traditional promotion where they're selling their TV show and they're trying to sell a storyline that's approachable for all ages and everything like that. I think with Cody and his brother, their creative minds, I think they might give us something really interesting. I don't know what it is, but I'm intrigued enough where I'm excited for the match. It won't have the action of a Young Bucks match, of course.
Yeah, well, they got a lot to prove too. They got a lot of money behind them that they gotta validate. They gotta validate
their own place on the card because there's a lot of talent out there.
And I think All In was like the prototype they needed to get where they are now. Mm-hmm. If All In wouldn't have been as successful as it was, obviously they would not be where they would be doing it.
Yeah, if they would have fell on their face with it, they wouldn't have tried again. Which and even then you couldn't knock them for trying because it was something.
No, all these CM Punk rumors and CM Punk's supposed return. Did you see that
in the mask? You could have thrown any tall guy in the mask to hit a GTS, and you might have never known.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, he still couldn't. It still could not be CM Punk, but
if Punk were to
very
do
likely
it, that would be the way he would have done it too. I think
And the him being there,
with
that same
hoodie,
clothing.
I think. Now, of course, they could have all been wrestling's a work, brother, and he could have just gave the tall indie guy his hoodie, throw the mask on,
go in there and make him think it's me or something. You're
right.
Know what?
And honestly,
I wouldn't put it past him either.
Honestly, I'm not gonna say we'll never know, but I don't think we'll know for a long time. I think if Punk did anything at all, that would be the way he'd want to do it.
Well, I've also been hearing rumors that WWE is very interested in re-signing CM Punk.
They need a shot in the arm with something, and I'll tell you this, Mark.
Don't get me wrong. I would love for them to re-sign. Hell, fuck yeah.
He was on Raw. I would watch.
Yeah,
I haven't watched since WrestleMania.
And I mean, he could go to AEW eventually, but I don't think it's anytime soon. But I think if they threw enough money at him and was like, dude, look, you can. If they gave him at least half of what he wanted before and took care of him, treated him like he deserved to be treated, I think he would come back.
Which Punk seems like that's what he wants more than anything. And I've always heard that he's been very good with his money, so I don't think it's the money.
I don't think he needs
necessary.
The money now.
It doesn't hurt because you're not going to get paid for what you're doing.
I think he wants to win a fucking MMA fight, though. I think he wants to at least have one of those.
I don't think he's going to get it in the UFC.
I don't think he is either.
Jeff Hughes might have to hook him up with some of the lowest low levels.
I think he has one more fight, though.
On a contract for the UFC?
I could be wrong.
They can release you from your contract any time there, so I highly doubt.
That's true.
You'll see it back. Because if you did the level of competition that he'd face, it wouldn't be a...
UFC, if they don't have a big money fight, and people would probably pay for it again.
Punk's a draw.
Exactly.
Sure he is. Yeah, and they're a business, so it's
they
not
get
outside the realm of
pro
possibility.
wrestlers money.
You wouldn't
pro wrestling money.
If they did have Punk give his one last fight, they wouldn't put him on as the first prelim, even though that's absolutely where he would belong talent wise. You would put him there because he's a draw. I mean, it's a business, so I mean it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, if Punk shows up at Double or Nothing, it would be the big. Whatever Punk would do would be the biggest wrestling news ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not ever, but right now, there's nothing. There wouldn't be a bigger story than where Punk would show up.
It'd be like #1 trending and shit.
For sure.
Hell yeah! I hope that'd be so exciting.
I think so, man.
That's one of the great things about wrestling is like all this speculation and shit. And like if it did happen, it would be so. It's
a lot of fun. And we're sitting here speculating, and we're going to do more speculating because what we have isn't great. At least in the WWE realm of things. Before when they ran All In, I must have been satisfied with the current product because I didn't really feel a need to watch. But now, I feel like all I'm watching is either classic stuff or. Or other indie stuff, and now it's like, okay, I want to see AEW. I'm excited to see. I would definitely watch Impact Wrestling if I was able to acquire it on my cable.
I thought they streamed it on Twitch. Isn't Impact?
I don't understand Twitch. We talked about this.
But they do stream it on Twitch.
I heard they did. I don't know.
You can. It's free.
Show me how it works. I don't understand.
You literally just go to twitch.tv and then you find it on there and you watch it.
Okay, I might be able to handle.
You might have to create an account, but then you can just save it and go there automatically.
I don't like that.
Have you ever? Okay, you have a Facebook account?
Yeah, I did that years ago. And
it's easier than that. Like you literally just create a name and a password, and then you could just save it so it's always on your list, and you can go right to it.
Maybe.
I will hook you up with some.
Well, then I won't remember how to get into it. But I guess I'm making a liar out of myself because I was saying I would watch Impact I'm a friend of Sami Callihan. I love that guy. He's a great wrestler, and he's a big star in there. Saywer Fulton, or Madman Fulton, is on there, a friend of his. So I have a couple personal friends that are even out there doing well in Impact Wrestling. So I really should check it out. I haven't.
You should. I mean, I don't watch it. I don't know why I'm pushing it so hard.
I've heard it's a good product. I talked to Madman Fulton a bit at the show, and he's really excited about the things Impact's doing. Excited about the talent and the direction that they're going, and I think it's a good thing too because they were mocked so much before that nowadays they're not being mocked. They're not talking about them a lot, but they have original talent. They have guys that are excited and hungry to be there as opposed to guys that are washed up or I'm not saying they're calling out, say Sting or Kevin Nash, but they're guys that they do their best days, their biggest pushes, promotion was behind them.
Yeah.
So they're going to go to this place and get paid what they can get paid to lend their star credit. They're not working hard.
No.
They're just not.
They put on mediocre matches because they don't want to get hurt because
they
they're not getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to pay what they can get paid and just lend their star credit, whereas these are getting young, hungry guys. And even guys that are outside of the normal super indie names, they're using guys. I mean, a guy like Sami Callihan was in NXT, and he left on his own. He wanted to go make a bigger name for himself, so he's out there with something to prove big time.
Yeah.
Madman Fulton got released from NXT. He's out there with something to prove big time. So these guys are going to show up and work hard.
Rich Swann's on Impact, isn't he?
Rich Swann is on Impact.
Rich Swann was good back.
He was very good.
205 Live.
205 Live. He, I think he had like a domestic issue, but got all cleared up. But still, yet I think it was kind of like it's my time to go. He's got something to prove. I mean, which is another reason, as we go back to AEW, you mentioned Neville Pok is going to be wrestling Hangman Page. Really looking forward to that match because there was a guy who was in the WWE and disgruntled. Yeah. And now he's out there on another big stage. He's going to have something to prove.
Yeah.
The hunger is what, you can sense it when you watch hungry dudes wrestling, when you guys that want to make their own brand and the product better.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to. Let's try to hook up some Twitch and watch some Impact and have an opinion next time we get together.
Oh no, I'm down for sure. I mean, I have a Twitch account and everything.
I don't.
I've even streamed myself playing games on Twitch before.
I didn't watch it.
I know. Nobody did. Maybe like 3 people tuned in at that point.
Where are we at time-wise? How are we doing on our show today?
We are closing in on an hour.
Oh,
But
man,
there's also a bunch of bullshit at the beginning. So we're probably a good 50.
That's all right. That's usually where we are, and I guess I can close off talking about. I had a busy indie weekend.
Yeah. That's where I was gonna go.
I had a busy indie weekend. I did home promotion MidOhio Wrestling on Saturday night. Wrestled a young man by the name of Chase Winters. This is a kid that if anybody does listen, anybody has any interest, Chase Winters is a kid that I would book on my local shows. He's a young kid, good looking kid. He's tall. He's like 6'1", 6'2", and really in good shape, athletic. He's just green. He's he's still learning the ropes. But I'd put him on any show that I had, and I had a really good match with him that I was happy about. The young man got over on me. I went for the code breaker. He caught me, rolled through in one fluid motion, and got the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Shocked out of nowhere, and the crowd chanted "loser" at me, which I was not happy about. Mr. D was there to plug my ears. Luckily,
I like it.
And then this is just, a little fun how the indies go. So Sunday, I have the whole afternoon to myself. I'm looking to just maybe chill, relax, have a nice, relaxing Sunday. And a fellow by the name of Bruiser Schmidt, it's actually a guy that I helped train out in Navarre about, 2011, 2012.
Bruiser Schmidt?
Yeah.
Is that his real name?
No, it's not his real name. We're not going to give you the real name here today.
It's a great name, though.
Brother. Well, he has a tag team that's been a fairly successful tag team called the Bearded Bastards.
Ooh, I like that, too.
They got the old school gimmicks. They had the chains around their neck and they had the stogies and all that, and just big burly guys, bald and beards. Well, his partner, I believe, is retiring full time here shortly, and he sent me a message on Sunday saying, "Hey, I got a show down in Wheeling. I need a partner. Would you be able to go?" And I'm sitting there thinking I don't have a lot going on. A road trip down, Wheeling's a couple hours. He would pick me up. That doesn't sound too bad. So I'm literally about to say yes. And he says, it's the main event and it's a Tower of Doom match. And I said, what the fuck is a Tower of Doom match? And he says that they hang the belts up from a lighting truss. Have you ever seen the bars, like a triangular bar with the steel bars? They hang it from the top of that, and it is tall. It's legit 15 feet up there.
Yeah.
And he tells me that, and I'm about to text, I don't think I want to do that.
No, I wouldn't want to do that either.
Well, it was a 4-team match. And the winner said to climb up and get these belts. And he said, well, we're not over. So I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have to climb the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he picked me up. We rode down, had a good road trip down to Wheeling, talking the business. And that's another thing. Most indie guys will agree. You learn so much in the car. It's a funny thing, especially if you have a group of, say, 4 guys that are riding to a show together. You have your veterans, and you share stories. And when you share those stories, your veteran can go, oh, well, if that happens again, you should do this, 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 and this. Bruiser was telling me a way that he would turn on his partner and what he was going to do. And I told him, no, listen, when you do that, though, go to T's leaving the ring, sell it with your eyes, look around, hear all the dissatisfaction from the crowd, then get mad, and then go back in and do some more, as opposed to just doing your boom, 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 3 things. And he's just like, that's so much better.
And selling it a little bit.
But that's the car rides. That's sitting there telling, I have this idea, what do you think? And then having somebody, and I'm not sitting there patting myself on the back, but I've been doing this 16 years, going, why don't you try it like this? And just putting a little spin on their idea and going, oh yeah, that's awesome. I like it. So that's the sort of stuff that we talked about, car ride down. We got down to the show, seen some old faces, some guys I haven't seen for a while, and ended up having a pretty fun Fatal 4-Way tag match main event out there bumping around. They had down in Wheeling, West Virginia. I want to thank Black Diamond Wrestling and Rick Diamond for having me down there. Came in, first shot, worked their main event, and probably will never come back, brother. But that's but had a lot of fun doing that sort of match. One of those wild brawls that are always kind of fun, Yeah. Who doesn't like watching a big bar brawl,
I know I do.
But then this Saturday, I will be in Sebring, Ohio. What are you doing this Saturday?
I think I'm working.
You're no fun.
Do you think I want to work?
We
I definitely don't.
We could have filmed a little bit of footage. I shared a video on my Facebook account. Now we're probably by the time you get this out here, it might maybe even Friday or Saturday at the best, right? So you might not be able to have a chance to see this, but if we do,
okay.
I shared a video on Facebook. Did you see it?
Which one?
The one that was a history timeline from a match on Saturday. It's a group called Main Event World League that runs in Sebring, and they spliced together they did a really good job of this video. They showed like a show from back in November where my opponent Christian Vaughn came back and made a surprise return.
Okay, no, I didn't see this at all.
We'll take a look at it. They did a good job. And then there's a little bit of promos, some of my promos where they spliced it and cut, the good parts. And they even, where I'd say a couple things and they do the psh, psh, and then, the next part. Like they did a really good job of it, and they showed the timeline leading up. Well, we were scheduled to have a match in March. My opponent allegedly got too sick for the show the day of the show.
Okay.
So he didn't make the show. So we had this main event sold. There's a lot of people there to see it. He didn't show up. Allegedly, I'm the bad guy, even though I was there. So I'm pissed off. I go out and we beat up, and I broke the ring announcer's ankle because I was mad.
Damn.
That's Christian Vaughn's fault, if you ask me.
Damn it, Christian. What the hell, dude?
It's a stupid name anyway.
Why'd you cause that shit, dude?
So then this son of a bitch comes back the next show. Now, I got suspended for the next show, so I wasn't there. So he comes back to the next show, beats this kid who had like 10 matches his whole life, beats him in 30 seconds, and gets on the microphone and talks about how he's back and how he wants me again. And Mark, I'm sick of this shit. Sick of this smug son of a bitch. Yeah. This is a guy that I came up with. All right, he started training not long after I did, and we wrestled each other at least 20 times, and always had really good matches, good physical matches. We were always neck and neck, and having top matches. And we're coming up in the late 2000s, early 2010, 2011. Dude was a great wrestler. He took off, took his ball, went home. That's fine. He went down to Florida, met a girl, a couple kids, man, and he living his best life. Nothing wrong with that. But then you come home, 2018, and talk about how he misses wrestling, want to get back into it. More power to you, man. Dude, I'm not in the best of shape to sit there and talk either, but he's not in great shape.
Okay.
So you want to come back in, get yourself in shape, get yourself back into wrestling, man. I feel it. That's a good thing. That's cool. To sit there and say that you want to go right back into the top of the card with me while you were gone in 2011, 2012. You were gone for 6-7 years. I've been making towns and grinding and establishing my name and having great fucking matches the entire time.
Yeah.
So you just want to come home and just plug yourself right next to me? Go fuck yourself.
Boom. Heard it right there.
I mean, that's how I feel. Go fuck yourself. So Saturday night, we're in a bull rope match. We're going to be tied with a bull rope to each other with a fucking cowbell in the middle. That hurts. And, if you want to see a good wrestling match, don't come. If you want to see a bloody fucking brawl, or dude's where I'm gonna take out a whole lot of hostility, Saturday night's gonna be a good place to be in Sebring, Ohio, man.
That's the place to be.
And I can't encourage you enough to watch that video. If you see it, it does a great job. It does such a great job of hyping this match that it might be a great match that I think, even he's believing it, that he has a fucking chance on Saturday because he doesn't.
Oh.
So.
I don't believe it.
Wow.
I mean, he's been out for how long?
Yeah, it was 6-7 years that he took off, just trying to get his feet wet back in. And you're going to be tied to a bull rope with me. And not only that, but I have a lot of hostility kind of build up where there's not going to really ease up on anything on Saturday, brother.
Well, shit. If for some reason you start losing steam or something, just remember how pissed off you are about the current product. And that'll give you your second win.
Plenty of hostility to take out wrestling-wise on Saturday night. Sebring, Ohio. It's the Sebring Community Center, West Texas Avenue. Should be a good show. I'm going to have a main event for sure.
Well, fuck, I wish I didn't have to worry. Maybe I could somehow get out of it or something.
You let me know, because I'd love to have a camera on it for this.
For sure. I'll see what I could do.
Because you ever see a public execution before, kids?
I haven't.
Well, I have. I see it in my fucking dreams when I go to sleep at night because I'm pissed about this.
Damn. All right. Well, I guess that's a great way to end it on a nice...
We're going to end it.
Threatening note. With that said, this has been Ohio Wrestlecast. It is Ohio Wrestlecast number 13.
You nailed it, pal. You nailed it. We bookended it. You got it.
And, thanks for watching. We got a new YouTube channel.
We do.
We need all the subscribers we can get so we can get our own custom YouTube link. So it's not youtube.com/channel/ 7765-7T3RK or some shit.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah, if we get over 100 subscribers, if we get 100 subscribers or more,
let's get there. Share.
it can be much easier for us. It would help us out a lot if people
share, subscribe. If you don't watch, it doesn't even matter. Just subscribe.
Yeah, you don't gotta click the bell, but do click the bell if you do enjoy.
But you should watch because I think we always have a good talk, and it's a lot of wrestling talk. But then there's a little bit more. There's we compared wrestling to movies with happy endings, bacon, eggs, and steak, and I threatened to kill somebody today.
He did.
So we had a hell of a show.
He certainly did. And I mean, if none of that catches your fancy, there's Walt.
And there's always Walt.
There's always the chance of Walt
making an
popping
appearance.
up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, anything else you'd like to say before we go?
I think we're good. Good getting back with you, talking some wrestling, even if it's not this is the angriest episode we've ever done.
Oh, no doubt.
Not a doubt about it. But for me and you, for our tall beers, for the Bible, for Walt slurping down some water right now.
He's thirsty as well. Yeah, with that said, till next time.
See ya. Bye, Internet.